Okay. Let me just talk about the rest of the class. So this is today. Homework 6 is already posted, so it'll be due. So original kind of would be due in a week, but then we started this thing where we handed it in section. So the only thing is there's no section next week, so I'm not really sure what to do about that. We could have it doing like 2 homeworks due in this week. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned. The only thing I'm concerned about is if homework 8 is due in this section, you might not have a lot of time to get it back before the final. That's the thing I'm concerned about. So, would you rather do that or hand it in on Tuesdays? Huh? We could. I mean, I guess you could hand it in this way and just maybe it'll be available like Monday or something of finals week. Is that okay? Or would you rather hand it in on Tuesdays? You still rather hand it in on sections? Okay. So let me make sure with the TAs, but we'll tentatively say that this homework we'll be doing section on the 29th. Makes sense? There's no section next week. Is that okay with everybody? Okay. So this day there'll be 2 homeworks due. It'll be homework 6 and homework 7. Is that okay? Okay, so homework 6, homework 7, and homework 8 count, and then homework 9 will be, I think, assigned on the 4th of December, but homework 9 is not handed in. Okay? Any questions? So, just to go over the calendar again, lecture today and Thursday. Next week on Tuesday we'll have a video instead, so that way you can see it at home or whatever. So that way you can hit the road a little earlier. Yeah. If you want to, that's fine. How many people want to come here physically? How many people are around on Tuesday next week that want to hang out? We can do that. Would you rather do that? No? The question is whether you'll be physically around Tuesday next week. So, could you raise your hand if you're physically around? Okay. We can make it like an optional thing, just like a hangout or something like that. Yeah, okay, we'll do that thing. Yeah. Yeah. So, there will be a video which is not considered optional, but there will be an optional thing in here. Does that make sense? So if you're not around, you're not going to be penalized. Is that okay with everybody? People think it's unfair? Is it okay? Okay. So we'll have that. So I put a big bowl of ramen here. This is, if you're interested in the ramen challenge, let me know. Okay.
What is the ramen challenge?
What is the ramen challenge? I've never gone, but it's on this Thanksgiving Day, and it's at this restaurant which is nearby my house. So every Thanksgiving they have this thing where you spend $10, you can get like all you can eat ramen. Sounds like a good deal to me. Okay, so we can actually meet on campus and walk over there. It's like within walking distance. It's like a 30-minute walk. Okay, so let me know. I'll send an announcement and let me know if you're interested. Does that make sense? Just tentatively, how many people might be interested in doing this? Okay, cool. All right. It's a good deal. Why not? Okay. So, all right. And then so after this video, and then hang out next week, and then no meeting on Thursdays, no sections this week too. And then next week, 27th, 29th, and 4th, and 6th, and this is the final, right? Any questions about the schedule, the final, and all that? How did you feel about the midterm? Was it like a really traumatic experience, or was it just okay? It was very traumatic. How many people thought it was just sort of okay? Well, that's not too bad. How many? Not enough time. Okay, okay. How many people thought there was not enough time? Okay, all right. Do you want me to talk about it a little bit, or are you okay with it, or you just want to leave it behind? Leave it behind. When will you get it back? I think it's about half graded already, so it should be pretty soon. You'll probably get it back in section, yeah. Yeah, if not here, we'll get it. I think half of it's already graded. How many people do the very last question, the one where there's 5 people? Do you think? Oh, okay, that's good. Huh? Okay. If you have time, we'll talk about that. I like that question a lot. How about the encyclopedia question? Was that crazy? That was okay, right? Yeah? That was doable, I thought. Okay. All right. Well, I guess what I want to say is if you feel like you totally messed up on the midterm, like you had no, like, obviously, like I said before, your final score will automatically take over your midterm score if it's higher, okay? So you don't have to do anything about that. It'll just be an automatic thing you do, okay? So, so you should be fine. But I will say, if you feel like you're kind of lost at sea and like don't, like, I would definitely say that you have time. You have like basically a month to prepare for the final. So you have a lot of time actually. It seems like things kind of happen quickly, but you have a fair amount of time. So the final will be roughly half the first half of the quarter, and this half of it would be the second half of the quarter. So again, if you just know all the material up to here, that'll cover half of the final. Does that make sense? So you should be able to, in some sense, it's a heavy weighting on the first part of the quarter, okay? So I would really recommend, if you feel like you need help, just let us know, we'll help you. And also just go back and you can look at all the midterms, all finals, they're all up there and you can see, okay? So please let me know if you don't start panicking. Again, panicking is okay, but it's always better to panic earlier than later, just because we can deal with it faster, okay? So if you really feel like you're not figuring out what's going on or whatever, you feel like this is just crazy, talk to us and we can help you. Yeah?
What's the average grade of what you graded so far?
I don't know, I haven't seen it. The T's have done it. You know, again, like, I would say that usually this kind of exam, that like 35, the 35 to 48 is like an A. Sometimes, I think the 30s, or I would guess around the 30 is like B minus, sort of B plus or A minus, something like that. So we'll see, it depends how the thing goes. Yeah?
30%, right?
No, 30 out of 48. Right. I'm guessing, but we'll see. I think a good half of it was pretty doable, I thought. No? Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll talk about it when you get back. Okay. All right, any questions? Okay. Okay. So we're now going to move on to kind of the more applied part of the course. So the first part of the course is kind of how to model using extensive form games, strategic form games. And now we're kind of going to try to use that to look at applied problems. And one of the classic ones is elections. So this is, when you think of political science, elections is obviously a big part of that. That's what most people think of when they think of political science. How do we model elections? It's a big question. Okay, so if you want to model election, like we just had one last week, what do? How do we model it? Remember, we have, if you're getting this, the first thing you think of is what? Who the players are, right? So who would the players be in an election? Probably the candidates, right? Are the other players? Actually, it's fairly complicated, right? Like voters, funders, PACs, all these things. But we'll just keep it on the candidates, yeah? All right. What's the next thing? What's the next thing you do if you're game based? What do you have to specify? Their actions, right? So what do you think? What is a candidate's action? Yeah, a lot of them. The policy position is one, right? Yeah. So that's kind of the main thing you do with the candidate. You kind of refine your policy position, yeah? Okay. Their action is mainly your issue positions. Like, am I going to be, pro-choice, anti-choice? Am I going to be pro-Keystone XL, anti-Keystone XL? Things like that. Pro-taxes, anti-taxes. Okay. And then what about the next thing? What's the third thing next specified in model? Payoffs, right? What do you think the payoff should be? Oh. Whether you win or not, and whether you win depends on your votes, right? So the main thing you're looking for if your candidate is to win is to maximize the number of votes. All right. So already we've specified a lot. So how do you want to do this? how do I want to think about this? Okay, so let's do it the simplest possible way. How many players do you want to have? Two, probably. And what, so I'll write this down. Okay, so there's 2 players. And what should their issue positions be? How do we go to model that? What should we? Huh? Well, there's many, many issues, right? What if I want to talk about the simplest possible way? Yeah, yeah, sure.
Like conservative or like liberal?
Yeah. It's the standard typical thing is left-right spectrum, right? Kind of like a left-right spectrum. Okay, so let me say, I'll say hard left, moderate left, center, moderate right, hard left. Okay, so these are my issue positions. Let's even say 5. Super simple. Okay. And then what about votes? How am I going to talk about votes? So, for example, one candidate might take the moderate left position. This candidate might take a center position. How do I specify how many votes they're going to get? And what will it depend on? Geographic stuff, yeah.
The demographics.
The demographics, yes, but
People's preferences.
yeah, people's preferences, right?
Number of voters.
Yeah. So, for example, how am I going to represent the voters? So clearly the voters should matter. How do I represent the voters here? Yeah.
Having a high payout.
Yeah. So the players want to pay off, but they want to maximize votes, right? How do I represent the votes? Like, so intuitive example, if someone takes an extreme position, they might not get too many votes. Why is that?
There's a lot of people that are.
Yeah, exactly. There are more people in the middle, right? So I want to specify what about the voters? Yeah, their positions too. Does it make sense? Yeah. So we can have. So I'm going to put. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put voters. So I'm going to say there's 6 hard left, 6 moderate left, 6 center, 6 moderate left. Does that make sense? So voters are also on a left-right position in left-right space, just like him. So this is again the simplest possible way. There might, of course, there are many issues, maybe hundreds of issues, but we'll just say there's one issue and just left and right. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so we're almost done now. How do I specify the payouts? For example, if I have this situation, candidate 1 is here, candidate 2 is here, how many votes do you think candidate 1 will get? Okay, well, who will the moderate left voters vote for? Will they vote for 1 or 2? 1, right? How about the hard left? So I'll vote for 1, right? So candidate 1 will get these folks, right? Does that make sense? Candidate 2 will get how much? 18, right? Because the 2 will get the center, so moderate right, hard left. Make sense? Because a voter will probably vote for the candidate which is closest to their position. Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay, so it seems pretty reasonable, yeah? Okay. So let's see if I can write this down. Simplest version of this is called the Downsian model by this guy named Anthony Downs. Okay, and it was first done maybe 1960 or something. Okay. And it's pretty obvious, and it's pretty straightforward. It's, like you and I just came up with it in 5 minutes. It's not like that big a deal, but he was the first person to do it. Okay. Say there's 30 people in society, that's what I put up there. 6 are on the hard left, 6 on the moderate left, etc. Okay, and I have this group. Does that make sense? I'll just read. Okay. So say that each voter votes for the candidate who is closest to their own position. So for example, here candidate 1 got 12 votes, and candidate 2 got 18 votes. And if there's a tie, we'll split the votes evenly. Okay. So in U.S. politics, there's almost always 2 candidates, like in this model. If I'm a candidate in like France or Germany on the European continent, how many candidates are there usually? You know, a lot, right? So it's a lot different. So that's the main reason that U.S. politics is different from the European continent, it's just the number of candidates. Okay. So in U.S. politics, we'll just start with 2 players and say that a candidate's payoff is the number of votes he receives. We have a 2-person game, right? Okay. So in this game, what are candidate 1's possible strategies? Yeah, just for these 5 positions. Yeah. Hard left, moderate left, center, moderate right, hard right. Similarly for person 2. Right? So what we do is we have this game here like this. It's not that big a deal. My kids say that. I say it's not a big deal all the time. It's like you say that's the main thing I say the most is it's not a big deal. Okay, let's write it down. If they're both, we already have one over here, right? If one's at moderate left and two's at center, then how many votes does the moderate left person get? 12, yeah? This is distracting. Get rid of the noodle challenge. How many does the center get? In this case, 18, yeah? Does it make sense? Clear why? Is that clear why? Yeah? Again, because these folks here, hard right, moderate right, and center, they all vote for 2 because 2 is closest to their own position. Okay, what if I do this? What if one's at center and 2's at moderate left? It's just the flip of that, right? 18, 12. What if they're both at the center? You say 1 and 2 are both at the center. Yeah, that's when. So they're the candidates are distinguishable. Okay, so everyone is so. These hard left, half of them vote for 1, half vote for 2. Half of these folks half vote for 1, half vote for 2, etc. So here it's just a tie. Okay. How about this one? What if they're both at moderate left? Huh? Still a tie, right? Because they'll just split up the votes equally, right? Because they're indistinguishable. How about if they're both a hard left? Same thing, yeah. If they're both a moderate right, so if they're on this, take the same thing, they'll get the same payoff. How about this? 1's at hard left, 2's at moderate left. Okay, so yeah, 1's at hard left, 2's at moderate left. How many votes does 1 get?
6.
Only 6, right? Because only these folks vote for 1, but everyone else votes for 2. Yeah. Okay, so this is 624. Okay. It's like that. How about this? 1's at hard left, 2's at C. Okay, so these folks vote for 1, yeah? All these folks vote for 2. What about these folks? They split in half, right? So 1 gets how many votes total? 9, yeah? 6 plus, these 6 plus 3 of these folks. Yeah? 1 gets 9, and 2 gets, I think, what? 21, yeah? Because there's 30 people total. And this is just the flip of that. Okay, we're doing a lot. 1's at hard left, 2's at moderate right. How many votes does 1 get?
12.
12. And 2 gets 18, I think. I can do that. What if 1's a hard left, 2's a hard right? Then it's split, right? The people in the C split up, tie, but the other, it's 15-15, right? Okay. How about this? 1's at moderate left, 2's at moderate right. Hold on. 1's at moderate left? Oh, yeah. 15-15, right? I think it's right, yeah. No, no. Okay. One's at C, 2's at moderate right. Okay, one's at C, 2's at moderate right. I think it's 18-12, huh? No? One's here, one gets these. Okay. Okay, we're almost done. One's at moderate left, 2's at hard right. I think it's 18-12, right? Is it clear? Yeah? Okay. Oops. 18, 12. 18. One's a C, two's a hard right. I think that's 21, 9. Right? Were anybody affected in the fires in Malibu stuff? Or up north? One of my friends, her house burned down, the whole thing. Yeah. Okay. One's a moderate right, two's a hard right. 24, right? 6. This is 6, 3, 4. Okay, we're done. Now this is problem 1A of the midterm. Okay, let's do Nash equilibrium. If 2 does hard left, what does 1 do? What's the best response? ML, right? If 2 does ML, what's 1's best response? C, right? If 1 does C, 2's best response is C. If 2 does MR, 1's best response is C. 2 does hard right, what is 1's best response? MR. Right? If 1 does HLs, 2's best response is ML. If 1 does ML, 2's best response, I think, is C. If 1 does C, 2's best response is also C. 1 does MR, 2's best response is C, etc. Okay, notice this is interesting, right? If you do HL, I'm going to do what? ML, right? And I really, really win then, right? Because basically, if somebody takes a very extreme position, you can kind of just go right next to it and get almost everybody, right? So there's a bit kind of a danger in taking an extreme position. Do you see that, right? Okay, so in general, if you're taking an extreme position, then you're at the danger of getting like just a very few number of votes, like 6 or something. Anyway, what's the Nash equilibrium? CC. Indeed. Okay. This is my thing. That's my Nash equilibrium. Okay. So we predict that both people will. So this is nice. We have a model, a nice prediction. It predicts that both candidates will take the second position. And for a long time, this is the standard. It still sort of is the standard way of thinking about elections, which is that in a 2-person election, there's a very, very strong force towards centrism. Okay? So if you look at the U.S., which is typically a 2-person election, 2-party election, Democrats and Republicans are relatively close together compared to like in Europe, where there's 5 parties. You have communists, Christian Democrats, hard right, all over the place. Right? So you see a lot less ideological dispersion in the U.S. versus in France, Germany. This is the standard. Okay. All right. On the European candidate, there are usually 3 or more candidates. Let's do the same model, but with 3 candidates. So will centrism still result? So we'll have a 3-person game. So for simplicity, we're just going to put person 3 at C. So now we can say there's 3 players. And say we're just going to put person 3 right at C. Obviously, this is going to be a complicated game of 3 players, so it's 5 by 5 by 5. But just to simplify, we'll put person 3 at C. So now we're going to do this. Okay? C. Say person 1 and person 2 are both in HL. Okay, how many votes will they get? Okay. Well, they're going to split the HL people, right? So they get 3 votes each from the HL people. How about these folks? Who are these folks going to vote for? It's like a 3-way tie, right? Because all candidates are just one space away. Yeah? So 2 will vote for 1, 2 will vote for 2, and then 2 will vote for 3. See what I'm doing? Yeah. How about who these people vote for? These people will all vote for 3, right? Okay, so the total number of votes 1 and 2 will get is, I think, 5. Yeah? Makes sense? Okay. Okay. Does this make sense, what I'm doing? Okay, what if they both do HR? Same, right? They'll both get 5 votes. Okay, what if they both do ML? This is a little different, right? How many votes will 1 and 2 get? 6, right? They're going to split HL and ML. Yeah? Okay. So they'll get 6 each.
Are you doing chaos for
I'm not doing third person threes.
at all, or?
No, I'm just going to keep it simple. It really is a 5 by 5 by 5 game. But I'm only just doing one thing of it. Yeah, I'm not doing, thank you, third person threes chaos. Just for simplicity. Okay. So similarly, if they both on the MR, they'll both get 6. What if everyone's at C, but it's 10, yeah? They'll split up 30 votes. So 1 and 2 are here. They'll split up 30 votes equals 16. Okay, let's see now. How about this? 1's at HL, 2's at ML. How many votes will 1 get? 6, right? 2's correct. 1's at HL, 2's at ML. 1 only gets C6, 2 only gets C6. They'll just get 6 of these. Oh, I think it's here too. So what if one is at HL and 2 is at C? How many votes does 1 get? 8, I think, right? These people split up 3 ways, yeah? So it'll be 6 plus 2. How many votes? So 1 will get 8. How many votes will 2 get? 2 plus 9, yeah? Makes sense? Yeah, well, these 18 people will split up between 2 and 3. So it'll be 2 plus 3. So we'll do that. Okay. Let me say 8 and 11. Okay, and I should be. I think this is also 8 and 11. Yeah? It's kind of like the flip of that. And this is 11. Okay, what if 1's at HL and 2's at MR? How many votes does 1 get? 9. 2 gets. 2 gets what? 12, yeah? Okay, what if 1 and click here. Okay. How about this? What if 1's at HL, 2's at HR? I think they'll both get what? 9, I think so, yes. Is it clear what? Yeah? Okay, 9. Okay. How about this? 1's at ML, 2's at C? One gets how many votes? 12, I think. 2 gets 9, yeah? I think this is also 12, 9. How about this? What's if one is at ML, 2's at M1? In this case, I think they both get 12. One's at ML, 2's at HR. And I think it's 12, 9, yeah? Okay, oh, we're done. We're good. Okay, let's see. Let's do now the Nash equilibrium. 2 does HL, the best response is MR. Now, this is interesting. This is different, right? Before, when 2 to HL, your best response was ML, right? But now your best response is to MR. Why is that? What's the difference?
The votes are divided up.
Yeah, you're kind of, 3 is taking some votes too, right? So if 1's at HL, sorry. It used to be that if 2 were at HL, you want to go to ML, right? But now being at ML is not so good, right? In a 3-person election, you don't want to be sandwiched. You don't want to be between 2 people, right? Because then if you're between 2 people, only the people who are right on you will vote for you. Makes sense? It's really pretty bad to be sandwiched. So in that case, your best response is actually to pop out of it, right? And I think it's your best response to get out. Because then you can get all these people over. Makes sense? If 2 does ML, your best, let me get this little start there. If 2 does ML, what's one's best response? MR. If 2 does C, what's one's best response? ML or MR. If 2 does MR, your best response is ML. If 2 does HR, your best response is ML. Okay, what best response here? If 1 is HL, your best response is MR, etc., etc. If 1 does ML, your best response is MR. If 1 does C, your best response is either ML or MR. If 1 does MR, 2's best response is ML. 1 is HR, okay. All right. Do I have any Nash equilibria? Yes. My Nash equilibria are, I think, this one and that one, yeah? Okay. There we go. This is a Nash equilibrium here. ML, MR, and MR, MR. Okay? This is where person 3 is fixed at in the C. Okay, does it make sense? Okay, does this make sense now? There's 3 candidates. When we had 2 candidates, we just had 2 people sitting at C. Now there's 3 candidates, 3 candidates at C, and now people want to move away from it. Make sense? So you have a little bit of dispersion. Does that make sense? Okay. So CC is not a Nash equilibrium anymore, so there's less centrism. If there's 3 or more players, you have less centrism than with 2 players. Any questions about this? Okay, so now let's do the full-blown 3-person game. All right, so you want to do this?
So, one question final.
Yeah, this is only question on the final. There might be questions for some. Look at the old finals. There are some hard problems, but some it's pretty easy. Well, doable. In the final, there's a lot more time. So it should be less than this year. Anyway, let's look at what happens. So when we had person 3 standing at C, we had ML and MR. That was a Nash equilibrium, right? If we just assume person 3 was at C. Okay, so let's just see. Is this a Nash equilibrium? Now, if we let person before person 3 couldn't move, but now we're going to let person 3 move. Is this a Nash equilibrium? Probably not. Who'd want to deviate from this?
C.
C, person 3, right? It's C. If you're person 3, what's your payoff in the situation?
6.
6, right? You're sandwiched. Yeah? You're not getting anyone's vote except for people who are just like you. Yeah? So if you're person 3, you'd want to deviate to what, for example? So you're let's see. Person 1's here, person 2's here. If you're person 3, you're getting 6 votes. If I deviate, say, to MR, how many will I get? Like 9, yeah? Okay, so I want to deviate. Make sense? Okay, so in this 3-person game, it's not a Nash equilibrium, because the person in C will get, not 9, 8, did I say 8?
It's 8.
Oh, you're right, it's 8, yeah, thank you. Because we'll split these 12 and then 2 of these people, yeah, it'll be 6 and 6. So again, if you're satisfied people, you want to escape out of it. Okay, so this is not a Nash equilibrium. What about CCC? What if everyone's at C?
Yeah.
Is this a Nash equilibrium?
We will split the votes equally.
Okay. What is everyone's payoff in the situation? 10, right? Could anyone gain by deviating?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, what would you do?
yeah.
So you MR or ML, right? If I deviated person 1, for example, goes to MR, one gets how many votes instead? 12, right? You go from 10 to 12, yeah?
14.
Yeah, just 12, yeah. Okay. So this is not a Nash equilibrium either, right? Each candidate gets 10, you can get 12 by moving them. Okay. Any ideas what a Nash equilibrium could be? Any suggestions? Good.
HLC in charge.
Let's see. HLC and HR. Okay. So one's getting how many votes? 9, right? 3's getting how many votes here? 12, I think, right? 6 and a half. And 2, I think. And anybody gain by deviating? Yeah, right? For example, 1, 2 could move to here, right? You get 12 instead of 1. Yeah? So this is a. Any other thoughts? Huh? Is there none? Yes, there are none. Okay, so it turns out there are no fixed values in this equilibrium. And you can show this. Okay. So in this situation, with this 3 players, there is no issue. All right. So the interpretation is as follows: if there's just 2 people in the world, like in the U.S., we predict centrism and relative stability. Okay. With 3 or more candidates, like on the European continent, France, Germany, whatever, we predict a wider ideological spectrum and relative instability, which is kind of what you see. I mean, you do see movement kind of among extremes. You see a lot more movement. You see less centrism. Okay. Oh. This makes sense? So this is kind of one of the building blocks of understanding voting. First of all, that if there's 2 candidates, there's centrism. There's more than 2 candidates, not centrism. Huh?
What about racial?
We will talk about that in class. So in this case, there's no complicated voting scheme. You'll just vote for one or the other. And people have said that maybe if there's 3 or more candidates, there's different voting schemes. And so we will talk. Okay. Anyway, does it make sense? So this is kind of cool. Just with very basic assumptions about what an election is like, we can get kind of a cool conclusion. Yeah.
So this is assuming that like voters are evenly distributed among the ideology.
Yes, absolutely. So in this case, it's 666, right? So there's an obvious question, right? What if this is different? Like, what if, like, we have a ton of people over here or something like that, right? Okay, so what's that? That's that question. Okay, so going back to the 2-candidate model, why is there a Nash equilibrium C safe? So going back to just the 2 people. What's special about C? Okay, so for example, so this is our Nash equilibrium here. Okay, why wasn't there a Nash equilibrium, for example, at MR? See, is this a Nash equilibrium? No. Each person is getting how many votes in the situation?
Are we doing it with the 16?
Yeah, we're just doing the 2 players, yeah.
Yeah, but with
Oh, no, sorry. They're just getting how many votes each?
15.
15, right? Can anybody gain by deviating?
Yes.
Yes, you can gain by deviating to, for example, what? C, right? You can get 18. Okay, so what's special about C? So you have a different distribution. So let's say with 21 voters. Say that I have this. Okay. What's the Nash equilibrium going to be here? Okay, we have 21 voters. Let's just check. Is it going to be CC?
No.
Hold on. Okay, if they're both at C, how many votes do they get?
1.5.
10.5, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. There's 2. So because they split up the 21 equal. Okay, if they're both at C, can I deviate by doing something better? Can I get better by changing moving away from C?
Yes.
What would I do?
You go to ML.
And now we get how many votes? 11. Yeah. So CC is not a Nash equilibrium anymore. Right? What would be a Nash equilibrium here? Huh? ML. Yeah, let's take that. If they're both at ML, how many votes are they getting? Both. Huh? Still 10.5, right? If they're both at ML, they're getting for the splitting up everyone, yeah? But if you're both at ML, can you deviate and get better off? But if I deviated to C, I would only get how many votes? 10. If I deviated to H, I'll get 7. Yeah, makes sense? Okay. So in this case, CC is not the Nash equilibrium. What is the Nash equilibrium? Is ML. This sort of makes sense, right? This is kind of like what you're saying. This is not an even distribution of voters anymore. There are a lot more leftists, yeah? So if the voters become more leftists, then the candidates will kind of follow that. We can do this. How about this distribution? Look at this. There's a ton of hard rights now. What would be the Nash equilibrium here? Okay, is it going to be CC? No, right? Hard right. Let's check hard right, hard right. If you're both of the hard right, how many votes do you get? 10.5, right? Can I deviate and do better than that? Well, if I say do medium right, I'll get 9, right? I can't do better than that. So that sort of makes sense, right? In this case, there's only 21 people. There's more than half the people are at hard right, so it makes sense that both candidates will go for hard right. Yeah? Okay. So here the Nash equilibrium is hard right, hard right. How about this one? This is kind of a very sort of, bell shape. There's a lot of people who are centrists. Let's check this out. How many people, what would the Nash equilibrium be, do you think? I think CC, yeah? If you're both at C, both people get 10.5. If I deviate, I could either get 6 or 7, which is less. Yeah? So I think in here, the Nash equilibrium is CC. Okay? Make sense? Okay. So look at these cases. So this is my cases where I have some leftists. This is where a ton of hard rightists, and this is kind of a more medium one. Is there a pattern? Can you see between all these things? You may have seen this before in another class. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, in this case it's the highest number. In this case it's the highest number. Over here it's not quite the highest number, but it's next to it. Do you want to try that out? Let me see. How about how about this? How about this? What would the Nash equilibrium be here? So this is a very dispersed society, very polarized. Huh? ML, do you think? Let's see. How many votes are getting? Is this sorting? It's 27 votes altogether, right? So each one is going to get 13.5. Can anyone gain by moving with me? So each one is going to get 5 votes. So you can move, right? Right. So, so it's not quite exactly right. You see what I'm saying? In this case, this is ML. ML is a Nash equilibrium. Like you can't deviate and get better than 13.5. So yeah, it's not quite. Any other patterns you want to see? Yeah.
Can you explain why that's the Nash equilibrium? Because wouldn't you get the 13 plus 1.5?
Oh, okay. So is it clear why they're getting 13.5?
No. That's
No?
what I'm saying. Like, wouldn't you do 13 plus 1.5?
Mm-hmm. So the way this is working is, so these people are split. Okay. If 1 and 2 are in ML, half of these people vote for, half of these people vote for 1, half over 2. Okay. We're just going to take a step by step, right? Does that make sense? No? Okay, so 12 people at HL, 2 at ML, 13 at HR. Okay? One and 2 are exactly, for the people who are hard left, these people are exactly equally far away. So they're going to split half-half. 6 are going to vote for 1, 6 are going to vote for 2. Does that make sense? Okay. How about these people? Who are they going to vote for? 1 or 2? Huh? It's the same, right? So they're going to split it. That's their assumption. So we're going to add 1 to those people. These people, so one of these people is going to vote for 1, one's going to vote for 2. Makes sense? Well, how about these people? Who are they going to vote for? They'll also split, right? So it's 6.5. So this is gonna be 13.5 each. Does that make sense? Good? Okay, yeah.
How come we're allowed to do 13.5 if not like for voting purposes, like you're not gonna need half of it?
Oh, this don't have a person, that's true. Yeah, okay, let's do it that way then. That's why we just started the 6s to make it. So in this case, it's gonna be, it'll be 12, right? These people will split 12, 12. These other people will split 2, 2. And those people will split 2, 2. Okay. Is that right? So that's 3 for 27. Okay. All right. So they're both getting 27 votes each. Okay. So the question then is, can I do better? Is this a Nash equilibrium? If I were to do EAT here, how many votes would I get? If I were to come over here? 24, right? Because only get these people and no one else. If one were to come over to here, how many votes would one get? 26, right? So one cannot do better given what she's doing. Make sense? Okay. Is it clear? Yeah? Okay. All right, so again, what's the pattern? So it's not the case that Nash equilibrium is necessarily close to the one with the highest number. What is the pattern? Can you tell me? There is a pattern. Go to reasons. It's not a big deal. Well, think about it. Okay. Let's think of, well, do you want me to just tell you, or should I think about it anymore? Should I build up the suspense? Build the suspense. Okay. See, I have lots and lots and lots of people. Say I have many classes like 2, 8, 4. So some people are super leftists. These are like vegans. These are the people who like eat only air or something like this. And these are people like these are people who eat lots of salads. And these are people who eat raw meat. So we have this long distribution of people, okay? All right. Okay, so say that, first of all, what does a Nash equilibrium going to look like? Is there going to be a Nash equilibrium where person 1's over here and person 2's over here? Okay, why not? Why would this not be a Nash equilibrium?
The one is a more goes.
Yeah. One could always move toward here and keep everyone one hand before and get more people. Yeah? For that matter, 2 could move to the middle too, right? If there's a gap between the other person, there's no reason not to move into that gap, yeah? Because you don't lose anything, you just gain more people, yeah? Okay, so the first thing is, you'll never have a Nash equilibrium where people are separate. Okay? Therefore, the only Nash equilibrium is what? Huh? Yeah, when they take the same position. Yes? Makes sense? Again, this is just with 2 people. With 2 people, there'll never be a Nash equilibrium where they're separate, so they have to be on top of each other. Okay? Now, what would those positions be? Okay. Would this be a Nash equilibrium? So way over here.
No.
No, why not?
If you deviate.
Yeah, one can just pop over here and get most of the votes. Yes? Okay, so where do you think it should be? What if I say it's here, sort of more to the middle, and I say it's like, I don't know, 48 votes on this side and then 53 votes on this side. Did you see what I'm saying? 48 votes are to the left, 53 votes are to the right. Is this going to be a Nash equilibrium? No, why not? Yeah, exactly. As it is, they're the same distance, they're basically getting half of the votes, right? Okay. Well, you're getting half of the votes, but you get more than half by moving over to the side. Make sense? Okay, so therefore, the only time you'll be in a Nash equilibrium is when?
In the middle of all the values.
Yeah, you're sort of in the middle. And in fact, you're in the middle, so exactly half is on this side, and half is on this side, on the right side. Does that make sense? The Nash equilibrium is only in a situation where it's half to the left and half to the right, because If there's more than half on one side, then you want to move to that part where more than half is. You see what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay, so,
And if there's not an even split, then you assume the side that has more votes.
okay. If there's not an even split, what do you mean is it?
Like, there's not, like 7 plus 4 is 11.
Oh, I see, yeah,
4
okay.
3 is
Yeah,
10.
right.
So they pick the 11 side.
Yeah. Okay, so, roughly speaking, going back, okay, there's a word name for the term, which is these people are in a situation where half of people are on the left and half are on the right. Okay? That number is called is it the average? It's the median, yeah. Remember that? Like AP statistics or something. Yeah, it's the median. Okay. So what's the pattern? So I make these little dots like this. Okay, so there's 7 dots there, 4 dots like that. I'm just making a picture like this. I'm going to color in the so-called median voters. This is a little green dot. Median voter simply means the person such that half the people are to the left and half to the right. See that? So this guy, there's 10 people to the left, 10 people to the right. This place, there's like 10 dots to the right, 10 to the left. Make sense?
How do you do it when there's half numbers? Does it
Yeah.
still not count?
Then either
Oh, wait,
one.
there's two.
Yeah.
Not two medians. We have to do like the median of the two.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a good. You see, let's look at this. Something like this. The 24 voters. I think in this case, is this a Nash equilibrium?
No. Wait.
How many votes are there? 24 voters total? They're each getting 12, right? Can I gain by deviating? If I deviate from here, I'll get what? 12. So this is a Nash equilibrium, right? And so say this is there's no center. In this case, ML is in Nash equilibrium. Is there another Nash equilibrium? MR. So, yeah, so if there's 2 medians, so to speak, right, or if 2 things are in the middle, then either would be. Yeah.
So why couldn't they be separate?
Oh, well, it's a good question. No, how about this? Yeah. Is this a Nash equilibrium? I think it is too, yeah. Because they're both getting 12 because you're getting.
So only in non-even circumstances.
Yeah, usually you assume, almost always you assume there's an odd number of voters, just so you don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. But when there's an even, then yeah, you'll have this situation. Okay, any questions? So, okay. Both candidates take the median voter position. That's the basic punchline. And this is the general result from the 2-person Gaussian model. It's sometimes called the median voter theorem. Okay. In the Nash equilibrium, both candidates choose the same position, the position of the median voter. So you both go to the position where there's half to your left, half to your right. And it sort of makes sense because no other thing would be stable, right? If you're in if you're in different positions, again, you want to move to the center. And if you're in the same position but not in the median, then you'd want to move to where most of the people are, right? Okay. So this is the Nash equilibrium is. Again, so assume that the total number of voters is odd. The median is the numbers. Okay, if it's even like this, we don't. Okay. Why? I guess I'll just give you the thing again. So this is my little picture of left-right spectrum. The green dot is the median. Say 1's over here, 2's over there. Is that a Nash equilibrium? No, right? Okay. Both can gain by moving toward the center. By moving to the center, you don't lose anybody. You gain some votes. So they'll move to the center until they end up in the same position. So the conclusion is in any Nash equilibrium, they'll take the same position. Oh, do you want me to just go down? So the first thing to prove this result of so-called median voter thing is to first say that when there's 2 voters, sorry, 2 candidates, there'll never be a Nash equilibrium if they're at different positions, right? Because each one will want to deviate to move towards the gap. Okay? What position will they take? Okay, say they're there. Okay? Say they're both in this position here. Is this picture Nash equilibrium, what I've shown you? No, right? Because how many votes are getting how many votes to the left? There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 21. So they're both getting 10.5 votes. Can anybody get more votes? Yeah, you can move it over here, and you get all these people over here, right? And you get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah? By moving to where the median is, right? So this is not stable because more than half are on this side, right? If there's more than half of the voters are on this side, you can get all of them by just moving a little bit further. Yeah? So if their position is not at the median, then either can gain by deviating toward the median. So I think we can both gain by deviating. So therefore, only when they are at the median, can we do the negative median. This is so-called median voter theorem. The only Nash equilibrium is when both are at the median. Yeah, makes sense? Yeah.
Why is it not a Nash equilibrium if, like, one was hard, left and one was harder?
Let me get in my picture again over here. See, one's here, which is here. They're basically getting roughly half the votes there. Okay. However, can person one do better than this? What should person one do? One can go all the way over here and get almost everybody, like 99%. Yeah, so that's why it's not stable. It's an important that story to say all the way, like the pitch is important, not just all the way, all the way. Right. Okay. Does that make sense? All right. Now this is a fun thing you can do is what happens when the voters' positions change. Okay. Say the conservatives get even more conservative. Okay, so you start with this position and all these folks here kind of they listen to Rush Limbaugh or whatever, and we go over here. Okay. So will the candidates change in this case? No, because the median voter didn't change. Yeah? The green is the median, right? So the people to the right just become a right where changes. The Nash equilibrium does not change. See, everyone gets more extreme. So like all the left-wing people, they start eating air-only diets or something like this. All the right-wing people start eating raw meat or something. Okay. Everyone gets more extreme, but the median doesn't change. Do the candidates change? There's a pretty big change, right? However, what do the candidates do? They don't change, yeah? Everyone gets more extreme, the median doesn't change. Okay. Now let's see, how about just instead of extremes, how about just a few people in the middle move leftward? So between here and here, everyone's the same except these three people. I think those three people just moved over a little bit. Okay? So just a tiny number of people move leftward. Now how do the candidates move?
With the median.
They move with the median, yeah? Okay. So the Nash equilibrium moves left here. Okay. What about just a single person even? So in this case, between here and here, all that happened was, I think, one of those people, one of the median, this person moved over here. Yeah? One of those people just popped over there. But literally just one person. Okay? That one person changing caused the median to change, and hence the candidates change. Yeah? Makes sense? So the punchline is this. In the two-person Downsy models, candidates' positions do not respond to changes of extremes. If all the rights get more right, all the leftists get more left, candidates do not change. Okay? What candidates are sensitive to is the changes in the median voter's position, the people who are just right on kind of the ball. So-called swing voters. Okay? So hence the obsession in the US with independents, swing voters, soccer moms, NASCAR dads. Every 4 years it's kind of like, who is the swing voter? It's the person who does yoga, but also likes to pay low taxes. They like to drive their Hummer to the yoga studio. That kind of thing. There's always They like to go shooting on weekends, but they also like to watch Lifetime on TV. Well, that's, you know, that's kind of, every year for 4 years, there's this kind of thing. Because it's true, it sort of makes sense. If you're in two-candidate voting, these people are important. Those are the people which candidates care about. So, any questions? So this is the classic result. Okay. So when I used to teach this, I said this is the main explanation for why the U.S. is much more centrism and Europe is much more dispersion. And this is still true. Okay, however, it's a little less relevant now that we see a lot of extremism in the U.S. too. So, okay, so does this model apply well to the 2016 elections? What do you think? Or even the 2018 elections? Yes and no? No. Huh? Yeah. So people study this on, I mean, this is not my main focus of interest, but people do study this. Yeah, so there's a, it's not clear. I guess this is the main thing. Okay, so I think some people still think the swing vote is still very important. Median vote is very important. Some people think it is really more about the experience and how the dynamics are different. Okay. So, but let's just think about it. I think it does sort of apply to 2016 election in the sense that, so yes, in the sense that another result of this is in a typical primary, like the Republican primary, Democrat. So in 2016, there were two people in the Democratic primary, basically, and there were like 10 people in the Republican primary. So typically in our primary, there's many people. There is a movement to the extremes. Okay, and again, the main reason is because you don't want to be in the middle of just a bunch of people. You definitely do not want to be sandwiched, right? If you're sandwiched, then you only get a tiny number of people. Okay, so in any typical primary election with many people, you want to take an extreme position. So Trump did that. Okay, so you could argue that was part of the reason why he got elected. And definitely, I think we'll also agree that if it was Trump versus like just one other candidate, then Trump probably would have lost. Yeah? Okay. And I think also, like, if you look at Clinton and Sanders, they did move together. Like Clinton did more free college stuff. You know, so Clinton did move toward Sanders. So there's a sense in which it worked. There's a sense in which it didn't work. Still, in the Democratic Party, Clinton and Sanders are still relatively far apart. And in the general election, almost always a typical thing is in the primary, you kind of try to distinguish yourself. In the general election, because there's only two candidates, you try to move to the middle. Okay, that's the typical thing. You have Trump didn't move to the middle. So in some sense, the model didn't work. How should we fix the model? Do you think this model is still relevant?
Feels like you have accurate data on voters.
Yeah.
Well, like the numbers, the payoff may not be the same.
Yeah, the payouts are different. Yeah, exactly. Okay, how would the payouts be? Go ahead.
Well, I mean, didn't the model technically work because the race still won the popular vote?
Yes, but the model also predicts that they will move toward the middle. Yeah. I mean, you can argue that. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could say that Trump did lose. You know, Trump could have done better. Yeah.
Georgia, that the media discourse was right because enough voters didn't go to the polls.
Yeah. So one of the big assumptions here is what? Everybody votes. Yeah. And in fact, they vote for the person who's closer to them. But actually, a lot of people do what? They don't vote at all. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So there's this discussion. You can see it sometimes. Let's see, like, where is this? This is a statement from Ocasio-Cortez. Where is this? Okay, here it is. Our swing voter is not red to blue. Our swing voter is the voter to the non-voter, right? You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people say it's not between the red and blue, it's rather from the non-voter to the voter, yeah? So there, basically, you're saying that a voter might not vote at all, yeah? Okay, so let's see. If that's the case, how will we fix the model? How will we change the model? We assume that everyone votes, but what could you do? Yeah.
Well, I feel like another problem with the model is that it doesn't assume that the candidates will get like some sort of punishment for changing their position.
Oh yeah, that's true too. So maybe people, if they take a certain one in the primary, they'll be punished if they take a certain one. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't measuring the model change the outcome.
Measuring in your
So say you say Clinton is gonna win, right?
Right.
That changes.
Oh, exactly right. You change the way you're gonna vote. Yeah, yeah.
There's gonna be less voters.
It's true. Okay, so basically, I think the standard way of fixing this model is to look at this issue, not just, well, there's one way which you're talking about, like making it more like the primary in general, but another way is simply looking at whether people want to vote or not. Okay? So the typical thing people say is the reason why, even though it's a very strong pressure towards centrism, people don't go to the center because they want to get people to show up to the polls. So you can't be too far away from them. Yeah? You kind of want to get enthusiasm. If you want volunteers, then you're not going to excite people if you're really far away from them. You're going to take more positions which are close to them. So that as you move toward party activists and donors to get money and volunteers from the campaign. So let's see. Let's just maybe we have time. No, we have time. Let's try to fix the model in that direction. So say we're going to go back to the model. Say each person votes for the candidate who's closest to their own position. This is what we had before. If there's a tie, you split the vote evenly. But let's say that if a candidate is more than one space away, the person doesn't vote at all. Okay? So we're going to now say that you're not forced to vote. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's see what happens here. I think I worked on this on the walkover, so let's just look at this. Okay, so say we go back to our original thing. Okay, there's 6 people, there's 5 positions. There are 6 people in each position. Okay, but now the deal is, say for example, one's over here and 2's over here. This person's not going to vote. These people are not going to vote for anybody. Make sense? Because the people are too far away. These people are just not excited about voting. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so for this case, how many votes does 1 and 2 get?
If they're more than one spot away, they don't vote.
Yeah, the more than one's good. So these people do not vote at all. So we'll just get 6 each, right? Only 12 people will vote. We'll split it. Okay, I think it's same if it's hard, right? What if they're both at ML? I think both will get 9, right? Just you know what I'm saying, right? It's like if you're hard right, you're not going to vote for these people who chose for us. Okay, right? They're just going to stay home. You don't feel represented. Okay, so this is 9-1. How about if they're both at C? I think it's still 9-9. Now, extremists don't want to vote because they see the person is too unexciting. What if one's at HL and 2's at ML? One gets 6 and 2 gets 12. Yeah, I think. Yeah. What if one's at HL and 2's at C? I think it'll be 9-12, right?
No.
Oh, 9-15, yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, right. Does it make sense? If one's at HL, 2's at C. 3, 6 go to 1. 3, 6, and 6 go to 2. Yep. And these guys also. How about here? One's at ML, 2's at C.
Oh, 1 gets 12, 2 gets 12.
Yeah, 12, I think. Okay, what about one's at MR, 2's at HL? What about the issue? One's at MR, 2's at HL.
Yeah.
One gets 18, right? And 2 gets 12. What if one's at HL and two's at HR? I think it's 12-12, right? Just interesting to get on excited. One's at ML, two's at MR.
Oh, this is ML and MR is 15.
Yeah, 15-15. Is it clear what we're doing? Kind of? Again, if somebody's far away, more than one space away from you, don't even vote at all. One's at C and two's at MR. I think it's 12-12, right? This is also 12-12. How about this? One's at ML, two's at HR. I think it's 18-12. Oh, I didn't do this before. This is 15. Okay. How about here? One's at C, two is at HR. I think it's 15-9, no? Finally, one's at MR, two's at HR. 12-6, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah, right? Okay, let's see. Nash equilibrium. The best response is here. Best response is here. Best response is here. 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 That's one's best response. Two's best response is that 15. Oh, did I make a mistake? Oh, you're right. You're right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, and then it's a 15 here, right? Then it's a 12s. That's a 15. Okay, what are our Nash equilibria? Yeah, MR and ML. Yeah. So it kind of works, right? So everything's the same except now you don't vote for people if they're too far away from you because you don't get excited. And in this situation, you do take people will take a little more extreme positions. Yeah. So this is the kind of thing you do if you're a modeler. You start with something seems reasonable, then you kind of look at data and say, hey, does the model make sense or not? You know, what am I not taking into account? I try to put that in account, see if it makes things different, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And then you have to do that with an uneven number of voters.
Huh?
And then you have to do that with an uneven number of voters.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay, all right. So yeah, the homework will be due in the 29th. Okay.
Conflict class, like how math based is it? I know you mentioned it's like mostly,
Yeah.
but like what kind of math is it?
Well, we'll take derivatives.
Okay.
You know, but we also teach how to do that. So if you
Okay.
don't have much experience, you can still do it.
No experience. Okay.
So
And then what sort of is there like a really short explanation of like what sort of interactions we get into?
Oh, what we do is we're doing a different topic, which is games with incomplete information. That's the main thing we do. So it's a situation where some party has like an informational advantage over another. Say like I know what the weather is, but you don't. So these models are doing that.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know if this is like a me problem, but I can't seem to access like Brewcast for this class.
Oh, is it the audio broadcasts?
Yeah, like or is there a video one too?
There are. I do put the videos up of the screen, but I don't have the video I need.
Okay.
So that's on the YouTube channel, which is it should be on the webpage too.
Oh, okay, on the
Yeah.
YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll
But
check that out.
you might, yeah, but I don't know how Rube does a broadcast, but I'll ask.
When I click the Brewcast link, I go onto it and it tells me to log on, but I'm already logged on.
Oh, that's good. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll into it. Sure. Hey.
So the homework 6 is due this week, in section this week, or is it?
There is no homework due this week.
There is no.
Yeah. So you have at least a week. The one you signed today.
Yeah.
Well, it is, but there's no substance this week. That part. So it'll be delayed. So you'll have a lot of time.
So homework 6, 7, and 8 will be due on the 10th.
No, 6 and 7 will. Homework 8 will be due on this.
Oh, okay. And then also I had a question for
Mhm.
5 and 5 here. I was like confused.
Well, that's with the third candidate. So this candidate 3 here,
Yeah.
candidate 1 and 2 here. So these people, they're split 3 ways. Because 1, 2, and 3 are all
Yes,
equally
they
far
did
away.
2 each.